What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, for the first ever Alpha podcast with my fellow Alpha member, Alpha Clickbait. How you doing today?
What's going on?
So, this kind of podcast, or this is going to be pretty much a 2 days a week kind of podcast. I thought, it'd be a cool thing, to start a podcast with my, fellow, Alpha member here. And, each week we're going to have like two different things, and we're going to talk about a couple things, meaning just Alpha stuff, sports related, because we're both sports fans in general, or just different stuff in general that pop out. We are kind of late on some of these things, so obviously it's probably been a week from some of these things that we're going to talk about, but hey, it's whatever, we're talking about it anyway. But anyway, let's start off by talking about my fellow clanmate over here's favorite team, the Patriots. Obviously, they brought in a new quarterback by the name of Cam Newton. And as a fellow Patriots fan, how do you feel about this?
There's two major things that I feel like is going to affect a lot of his play style, and those things are his two injuries, which were not easygoing injuries on him in general. Both of them actually involve surgery, if you didn't know that. One was in the Steelers and the Panthers game, and TJ Watt actually hit him really hard in the shoulder, and it actually ended up getting a really bad injury. So, yeah, this following season, and that's going to affect his throwing accuracy a lot more. I'm not saying he's going to be complete garbage at throwing in general, but there is a chance that's going to affect it a little bit. And people always tell me, when I bring that up, they're like, oh, well, then he can just rely on his legs. No, because he had an ankle injury as well last season, I'm pretty sure, and that's probably going to affect his running a little more. So I feel good about him going to the Patriots, but
yeah, it's better than what'd you call your other quarterback?
The one and only Jared Stidham, the bum
Stickman
of the Patriots.
Stickman. So if you don't mind me to say, like, one thing that a lot of people think about this contract, it's obviously a 1-year deal, $1.75 million, obviously a very cheap deal, but I think probably a steal because everybody's getting up. No, it's 7.8. Oh, it's around that range probably. But anyway, it's a 1-year deal just to show what he can do, see if he can go back to his old MVP form. Obviously, the man was a, Offensive Rookie of the Year MVP and Heisman in college, so, we'll just have to see what he can do, with his first year with the Patriots, and who knows, maybe they re-sign him at the end of the year, and he's just the franchise quarterback until the end of his career. We'll just have to see what happens for that purpose. Did you have something to say?
Personally, I think he's going to get re-signed, because then I've also talked to some people that saying, like, oh, Jarrett Stidham isn't a bad quarterback because he sat behind Tom Brady for a couple of years. And obviously that's not bad, but when you get someone like Cam Newton coming from another team, he's carried that team, and Jarrett Stidham obviously has been a backup. So, yeah, he sat behind Tom Brady, but he's never actually played off of preseason. So, nobody's really seen what he can do off of preseason. Regard to Cam Newton, he's a quarterback that's played an actual season and played pretty good. So, I would pick Cam Newton over Jarrett Stidham basically any day.
Oh yeah, that's a really easy answer because obviously, it makes sense because I saw this one thing, a reporter asked Belichick, he's like, do you think Cam will get the starting job? And he literally said no doubt, there's no doubt he will. The man has so much talent, and obviously he's going to be a little different like you said before, coming into the system. Obviously they had Tom Brady for the longest time, so there's not much, run plays and shit for. Obviously, I think there will be obviously for Cam Newton running plays for him, but it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a different offense this year for Cam Newton and those boys. Like in my opinion, I thought that Patriots team. Okay, they're gonna tank. Obviously, I heard it from you. They might go for that rookie quarterback in this next year's draft. And that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to go for him, tank, go for him and stuff. But Belichick, he's always a winner. He wants to win. So I'm not surprised they picked up Cam Newton because it's obviously been rumors, obviously all their quarterbacks.
And in off season there was also rumors of Andy Dalton coming into the Patriots.
A lot of them.
But there was a lot. And then there was also I heard some rumors about Jameis Winston. And then bringing back the whole Trevor Lawrence thing, because he was supposed to be coming into the 2020 NFL draft, and actually there was some stuff messed up with his college, stuff like that, and he had to play like one more year of college, I think is what it was, before he could get into the NFL draft. And with all of that, I kind of thought like, there has been rumors of Belichick liking Trevor Lawrence and his play style. Maybe we could be dropping out because we had a chance to get multiple quarterbacks in the draft, and I was kind of thinking we just dropped out on the opportunities to get them, maybe because of Trevor Lawrence. But I don't know.
Okay. I actually have a quote here by him, saying this to the other free agent teams that didn't pick him up, obviously besides the Patriots, that needed quarterbacks. And he literally said, "Stick it up there everybody's ass." Literally was the quote he put out towards a reporter, pretty much saying to the team, saying, okay, you want to disrespect my talent, and obviously, I've had injury problems, but you didn't want to give me a chance. So I'm going to prove it this year, obviously. We've seen it with other quarterbacks, that didn't really... didn't get the chances that they got, and they didn't really turn out to be stuff, and same other way around too. But hey, we'll just have to see what he does this year, and that Patriots team's gonna be really interesting because they did lose some pieces in free agency from the defensive side of the ball, but that defense is still intact with some great players on that side. And they're just getting better and better overall, so we'll just have to see what happens there.
And one more thing I want to go ahead and throw out by Cam Newton. As you can probably see in that quote, Cam Newton kind of has some not anger problems, but like gets mad over some of the easiest things, and I really want to see how that ends up playing out with Belichick because, on the field, because Belichick, if you guys watch the whole Gronk and Brady interview and stuff like that, they even said that Belichick wasn't the easiest person to work with, and I really agree to that because you never see the man with a smile on his face.
Yeah. Okay, you done there?
But I do think Cam Newton will improve with the Patriots a lot.
Well, we'll just have to see what happens this year. But anyway, that's enough talk about, obviously, the Patriots and their quarterback. We're going to swing to another lovely quarterback that had a Super Bowl MVP, and an MVP, and he's just making a young career in himself in the last, 2 years, pretty much, Been better some quarterbacks that's already in the league today that, some teams like the Bears should have took him instead of the quarterback they got now. But anyway, I want to talk about obviously his contract. So, I've heard a lot of things about, they're paying him a little too much, and then there's also the people that are like,
sure.
A lot of people are saying, he deserves it, he earns it. We do have only 2 years to really go off of when it comes to the NFL side for Patrick Mahomes, and out of those 2 years, in my opinion, I think he deserves every penny of it. And if you didn't know already, that it's obviously a 10-year deal, $503 million, and that's a lot of fucking money, in my opinion. That's a lot of money, and it's also the largest contract in sports history. No other player has had a larger contract than Patrick Mahomes now. So he has a lot to fill in his shoes there. You know, if he has that contract, he better play like he is the best player in the world. But, you know, we'll just have to see when it comes to that. There hasn't been, I wouldn't say, much changes to that Chiefs team and stuff like that. But there wasn't really a lot of things to talk about that. Do you have anything to really say on the contract and everything?
I do want to go ahead and say a couple things about Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, I will say there's a couple things about his play style that I'm obviously not a big fan of, but and they invested in young talent. I will say that because he is one hell of a quarterback for his age, and what he was saying, like how much they've paid him, he better play like that $500 million. But other than that, I don't think there's really much you can go ahead and say about that.
Yeah, just, you know, the contract, the big thing. We'll just have to see how he responds to that contract this year. You know, we'll just have to see what happens in general. There isn't much really to talk about that. And the next thing we're going to talk about is obviously going to be maybe one-sided between both of us, but the PS4 and the Xbox rivalry, you know, going into the new ones, you know, the PS5 and I think the Xbox, what is it? The Xbox what? Series X?
Series X.
Yeah, Series X. So I would say there isn't a lot of differences to it. Obviously, the SSD is probably the only thing. Xbox has a lot more on it than PS5 does. But the one thing that Xbox has more that I like, that I feel like PS5 should have done, is the one thing is, for example, Xbox. You can play Xbox, obviously that gen's X games, Xbox Ones, Xbox 360s, and the original Xbox games, all of them. You can play all of them on that console. But when it comes to the PS5, obviously you can play PS5 games and some PS4 games, not even all PS4 games. So it's kind of fishy when it comes to PS5, when it comes to those games in general, because, you know, there might be some games that you want to pretty much bring over that you might not be able to. But to be completely honest, you know, we are obviously PlayStation, you know, big fans of PlayStation. Obviously, we both have, you know, 4s. But you probably have some things to say about it. You even did a video on it on your channel.
Yeah. So, I've actually recorded a video comparing the two on my YouTube channel. And, there's a couple things.
Pause right there. And if you do, by the way, when you're talking about channels, you know, if you want to go see that video, his link is down in the comments. And if you want to go see my content, it's also, both of my channels are down there, just to point that out. But anyway, go on.
So, and there is one, like, there's a couple things that, if you didn't know, I like PlayStation more. But I do have an Xbox One, and I know I've said this multiple times, my PS4 account got banned, and I was playing a lot more Xbox. So personally, I really don't have an issue with either of them. They're both great consoles, and I like them both. But the one thing they're doing with the PS5 that I think is kind of, like, obviously they're testing, like, trying out something new, but I don't like, is there's two different kinds, and one is the digital version, and there's one, the digital version, you cannot use disc games, you gotta transfer and buy everything digital. And the other one obviously has discs and stuff like that. And another thing is, I don't like how you have to buy the controller separate. So most PlayStations, the controller comes with it. I'm not saying it's a big deal or nothing like that, because obviously most people that buy it will have the money to get an extra controller. But why, not bring a controller with it? And the PS4 even came with that little earbud. Um, as a microphone, they're not doing any of that. They showcased in the video that I posted on my channel, and stuff like that. They showed a pair of headphones, a camera, and a controller. And none of that, I don't know why they showed it, but none of that will be with the PlayStation 5. All of it is separate, separate buyable items that you have to buy with it. That's one thing I don't really like about the PS5, but overall they're both really good consoles, and I love how the new Xbox actually put big PC parts into it. So if you want my total opinion on the Xbox, before long you might as well just call the Xbox a computer. If you want my full opinion on it, but
it's like a shorter tower in a way.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
pretty much.
And it even looks basically like a computer.
Yeah.
But that's all I have to say on the two consoles. But both great consoles. I think a lot of people will love and enjoy them. But
yeah, we'll just have to see what they turn out to be, because there will be little, weird fixes and stuff they'll have to do, obviously at launch and stuff like that. Obviously. When it comes to like both of the different PS4s, obviously, I guess they were just trying to do a thing. I don't think they really should have. They just came out with one, but I guess it's not terrible to come out with two different ones. But they probably could have took that time into something else instead of making two of them. But yeah, it's whatever. We'll see how both of them works. If one's better than the other, hopefully they work the exact same. Besides, obviously, the two differences in them.
one more thing I gotta say about the I just completely forgot what I was gonna say.
I'll keep going, and if you remember, tell me.
Okay.
Tell me. But anyway, some other things that he actually forgot to say when it came to the PS4 that I actually ended up just remembering was, obviously the controller is obviously separate. The headset they have obviously separate.
The headset that they showed in the trailer looks really nice, though.
Oh yeah.
So I was very leery, like that was actually going to come with it.
Yeah, and obviously the camera you talked about. They even have a little, little set-on thing you could set your controllers on to charge.
Yeah.
I hope it's the same kind of charger as PS4 for the purposes, I don't have to kind of, get rid of or buy a brand new kind of charging setup for it. And the one thing that you did forget, I'm not sure what it is, but it's a remote. That
was in the video that I showed, and I was confused on that myself.
I'm not sure what the remote's to. Is it like, I guess, is it more for like the movie kind of part of it? Like it's like a movie remote or something. I'm not sure what it is. We'll obviously have to see what that turns out to be also. But I think all Xbox came out with was obviously, they didn't really show much when it came to stuff that came with it. It's obviously probably going to have its own headset, chances are. Obviously the controller, maybe like a plug-in thing. I'm not sure what it's all going to come with it. It might come out later. But I'd say the one thing that I wish PlayStation didn't do is probably put more time into the console, more than just making two of them. Or just, in general. Like, for example, they probably should have put that time instead of making two consoles into where we could play PS3 games or older games, for example.
Or instead of making the digital one, and just keeping it where you can play it on disc, I would have said, like, went back over it, double checked the model that they have of it and stuff like that, because with these newer consoles and these newer electric things, usually when it first drops, there's gonna be some a little bit of issues with it, because obviously it's the first.
That's to everything, yeah.
First time it dropped. So I mean, I'm not saying even if they did take the time to go back and do that it would fix that. Probably not, but maybe could have put a little bit more time into it.
Yeah.
And one thing I do like a lot more about the PlayStation 5 than the PS4 is that it sets up. it doesn't set flat like on a desk, which is going to save a lot more room on my desk, actually.
Well, you can do it with the PS4 too, but it's going to be a really awkward kind of fit.
Yeah, it's going to look really, really weird.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's all I got to say about the. Well, one more thing about the Xbox. With the trailers that I've watched and stuff like that, they didn't show what was. They didn't go in big detail of what was like what the PS5. I mean, the Xbox was made of. Like the parts and stuff like that. They didn't even do like a full view of like around it. What they went into was basically the graphics, the gameplay, and just stuff like that, like the storage and stuff like that. So I feel like they went more into like the big graphic page of it. Well, like rather than PlayStation went into like the interior like place of the PlayStation. So
I can see something like that where they, I feel like in my opinion, the one thing I did like about Xbox, or one thing I did like about Xbox is I do like that they put more time in the console more than the looks and stuff. Like I don't really care in a way what the looks like. If it looks good, cool. As long as I can play it and have fun on it, like the recent consoles, that's all I care about. I don't really care if it looks really ugly or not. If I'm going off style, obviously I'm going PS4 or PS5, but I do like what the Xbox is doing when they're just basing it off. Okay, we're focusing more on the console in general. More like PlayStation, they're pretty much doing. Yeah, they're focusing on the console, but they're also focusing on the design and the equipment that comes with, or not with it, but you can get with it. Get it. But besides that, again, it's just like a lot of these other things we're talking about. We're just going to have to wait to see what happens. And obviously, they're both coming in probably around the same time, obviously. I think late November is probably where it's going to end up coming out, chances are. So we'll just have to see all those little, obviously we can do updated videos on that stuff and all that at that point in view.
And this is probably the last thing I'm going to say about the whole consoles. I personally don't think this was true, but people was saying, I got told by multiple people actually that you were gonna have to get buy a different TV to go with it. I don't know if they were saying that just for the graphics, because people were saying that you had to go and get like a 4K TV, and I'm like, well, you probably don't have to. It's probably just on the page of, if you want like the full graphic experience, I would personally go with the 4K. I already have a 4K TV, so I'm not really worried about that. So,
but for the people that don't have them,
for the people that doesn't have them,
and
I don't think that's a thing, but
possibly. I don't think like, I guess I could see Sony maybe. I could see them doing it, but like, because they own Sony TVs, so just to make more money like that, but that could be really, messed up. But again, I don't think those, companies are really going to do that, where they're going to be like, oh, you're going to need a certain TV or a way better TV and make you waste your money, or not really waste your money, but to buy a whole brand new TV just to play or like a PlayStation or an Xbox, because I know they never had to do that. Like, yeah, I think TVs doesn't matter the graphics. It's, whatever this, the console ends up doing, because it was the same with the PlayStation 3 going to the PlayStation 5, same with the, 360 to the Xbox One. Yeah, the graphics will change, but it doesn't matter the TV in general. I don't think it will ever mean that. And, you can have the same TV for 20 years, obviously you probably want to upgrade by then, but probably use two different types of consoles on it, or three, or four, and they should all work on the same TV. I don't know why there would be those rumors of, oh, you need a 4K TV. But anyway, going on to the next.
That's all I got to say. Yeah. That topic.
Okay, so next we're gonna move on to the NBA. Obviously, the new NBA game and the new Madden game, obviously the 21s. And for my point of view on both of them, knowing Madden and 2K, obviously I am more of a Madden player than I am a 2K player, but I do like both of the games equally. The one thing I don't like about 2K is when they come out with content knowing us to let us know what the heck's going to go on. The only thing we know about 2K21 is a little like snippet of like Zion sweating. That's really the only thing we know gameplay wise, and I guess like a dunk or two, of Zion. And obviously the cover athletes, Zion, Damian, and Kobe. And then on the Madden side, we've gotten a lot more content when it comes to that, so we really know what the heck we're getting with Madden. Like, I had a friend of mine actually that I do want to point out was he ended up telling me about like, oh, it's going to be like little fixes and they're just copy and pasting Madden. Hopefully that's wrong, but by me playing a little bit of the Madden beta, it's looking kind of the exact same, changing some animations and all that stuff, but hopefully, they do some, fixes and stuff like that. Hopefully it's not the same, because, that would be really bad for that purpose. But I could also see it for the purposes if they were going to change it on next gen, for an example, like, oh, they're going to, like, make it not that great for this gen, because they're more focused on next gen, so I could see that. But, Madden have came out with multiple trailers. Obviously, we know the cover athletes. The cover athlete, I think there's only one. And, we know, the little snippets, and we got little things on that. But, that's about it from me. Do you have anything to say on these two games?
Yeah, Kyler, so one of the things that let's go back to the copy and paste thing. This isn't regarding to Madden, but this is going back to 2K.
Okay.
I have I don't know if this is true or not, but to me it kind of seemed like that's basically what they did with 18 and 19.
Neighborhood-wise, I would probably... neighborhood-wise is different, but gameplay-wise, I can tell.
Maybe like 18, 19, or like 19, 20, one of the two. I think
I'd say 19 20 probably, but...
Yeah.
But anyway,
so
going on what you're saying.
Basically, what I had pictured from playing both of them is because I know like the play now, like the blacktop and stuff like that, all the same. There was no like switches to it, and I know like a lot of people don't play that, but when you got a friend over or something like that, it's kind of like a 1v1 type thing that you can have fun on, and like they didn't touch it at all, and like kind of like neighborhood and park and shit like that. I don't think they even touched really much of that. I think basically all of the mechanics and all of the stuff that you do in each game was just kind of the same. So maybe they're gonna come out with like pack in some heat with 21, but I think they were kind of lazy with 19 and 20. If you want my full opinion on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
And also some of the stuff that I've sent you, I don't know if that's true or not, but we also saw some of the stuff like what build you wanted, and you could show, and it showed like you could do a build from 2K16, you could do a build from 2K17, 2K18, 2K19, and then you could do one from 2K20 and then 21. You could pick now whether that is true or not. I'm not sure, and then they've also just obviously shown some players like dunking and stuff like that. Other than that, there's like a whole new mode called My World. I don't know if that's what they're gonna call my career or my team or whatever now, but it's called My World. Obviously, again, don't know if that's real or not, but I saw it in a couple like trailers and stuff like that. But not much really I can say on the whole Madden side, because I haven't briefly looked into the whole Madden 21. Kyler has looked into both of them, obviously. Swag. But that's all I gotta say for them.
it was really interesting because I do like if they do, if obviously it's always correct, you know, if all this stuff we're seeing obviously is correct, I think it would be probably maybe even a game I'd play a lot more for the purpose of, for example, each mode. For example, I've said this all year when it comes to 2K's My Team. I want them to get rid of those contracts and stuff like that. So if they can get rid of those, I'd probably play My Team a lot more. And plus, obviously, knowing the build purposes, like I used to be a big 2K16 fan, used to play it all the time, and their build was like, I feel like when you played that game, that was more of like, if you wanted to start playing 2K, that was the game to start playing 2K for the purposes. It was a lot easier to play and a lot more easier to new members, more than it's like now. But you know, then you can also pick a different. You know, if that's true, that'd be good. You know, good. But if they only allow you to pick one for every player, or you can pick different builds for each player, that's the one thing I want to know if they allow or something. And then the world thing, that would be cool. Like I've heard this from other people and stuff I would want to. Like let us play in different parks, for example. Not kind of like 16 and 17 where we had, you know, obviously Sunset, Rucka, and I forgot the other one. No, Ribbit, Sunset, and I think, Flyers. Yeah, those three, or I might have even got it wrong completely all three of them. But anyway, you guys know what I mean when it comes to that if you played 17 or 16. But those parks was nice, but if we can maybe get somewhere we can play in Tokyo, New York, China, you know, or just some random places, or, you know, Las Vegas, or, you know, some random places, maybe a place in each state or something, or I don't know, even not even that, or if we get 3 new parks instead of like, you know, the used to ones we have. Like as much as I like those, I do like to see more content when it comes to that in different parks. But if we can get something like that, I would love that. I would love it a lot. When it comes to 2K, do you have anything to say on 2K before I have some stuff to say about Madden?
One more thing I'm gonna go ahead and say about 2K. I wish they would add the feature where you could trade your MT, which is the points that you get in My Team. I wish you could trade, like, kind of transfer those into VC, because you can obviously grind for VC, and you can do the same for MT, but I feel like it's a lot easier to get MT than it is VC. So maybe make it where you can trade in like 20,000 VC for like
15.
MT for like 10,000, 5,000, 10,000 VC. Because I know a lot of players that have a lot of MT, and if you could just having the feeling that like you could, if you ever needed VC or something like that, you can just go ahead and hop on My Team, transfer them into VC.
Or if you ever stop playing My Team and you're just a My Career person.
Yeah, if you just stop playing My Team and you have a lot more MT there and you're never going to play it no more. Obviously, I don't play much My Team anymore. If I do, I play mostly Triple Threat online and stuff like that. Kyler still plays it. Swag still, he still plays it. But truly, I don't. But I feel like that would be a really cool feature that they could possibly put into the new one. But other than that, I really don't got much to say. Like, it's more than 2K, and I wish they'd kind of do the same thing in Madden, where you could trade like your points, like the green points or whatever that you can get, into coins, or like the SS1 trophies. Yeah, or just buy coins in general. But then you also got people out there that have a lot of money, and they can just put down like $1,000 on coins and have like the best team in the game. Yeah. So I understand why they make you do that, where you just pull packs and try and get lucky. But I still think that you should be able to trade like your points in for like the SSI or SS1 trophies and coins and maybe even training at that point.
Okay.
But I feel like you could do that
I
to
would say
both
the
those
only
games.
reason they don't do that is, because they're always money hungry, and they always want you to buy
Yeah.
with real money instead of, but they can still make a lot of money off the way you're saying, because they can just, buy coins or, buy, or maybe even buy MT or something. But I could see, like, on Madden, like, I could see that works better on Madden, but on 2K, I could see why they don't do it. For the purposes, it's pretty much actually the same reason on Madden, where you can literally have the best team if you just buy tons of MT, and they want you to sit there and grind for it. It's pretty much what they want you to do, you know. But hey, it's whatever. We'll see what happens. I know they used to have it a long time ago, and they took it out for that reason. But who knows? Maybe they bring it back or something. But anyway, onto the Madden side of things. The things I do want to see when it comes to Madden this year that I haven't already seen is I'm obviously a big franchise and Ultimate Team player, but I think I'm a more franchise guy than I am Ultimate Team because I've always been a franchise guy. I don't think when I got into Madden, it was really franchise. It was back in 2011 when franchise was the bomb. There was actually really my team or Ultimate Team wasn't really that big, so no one really played it crazily. But anyway, I want them to like fix a lot of the like. Obviously, I do rebuilds and stuff, so I know a lot more about it, obviously, than probably clickbait over here, because I know a lot more about it. But the one thing, if I had to say a couple things, so I'm not going to rant. If I want to do that, I'll make a separate video of that or separate podcast or something like that. But pretty much, the age difference, like, I know there's, like, the digression in that game is terrible for the purpose of, like a 31-year-old that's, for example, let's say Aaron Rodgers for an example, because this is what happens to him every year. Same with like Tom Brady and a lot of older quarterbacks. They'll be about like, let's say a 90 or something, and a year they'll be an 84 after that year. And I don't think that's really should be because they keep going down and down after that. And I feel like some people don't play good in their young age, but they play better in their old age. So I feel like they should make it where if let's say they have a good season, they go up in overall, or up like a certain amount of overalls because they were good, and they don't digress as hard. Only if they're playing really bad, then I could see why. But maybe just fix the age age digressing thing. I'm not too crazy on a lot of the other stuff. Like, obviously, I like a lot of the new like moves and stuff they made this year and stuff because I've seen a couple of those. But when it comes to franchise,
that one a lot.
What?
That was in the trailer.
Oh, what was it? The hurdle. Yeah, the hurdle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, only if you have some stuff to say franchise, I'm gonna go to Ultimate Team. If you don't have anything to say about franchise,
No.
All right. But Ultimate.
After you finish with Ultimate Team, I do have another topic that we're gonna go into.
Okay. No matter how long you want to make this podcast, But anyway.
It's the only one.
Oh, okay. But anyway, onto the Madden Ultimate Team point of view. So, the one thing I do like that they don't do in 2K is obviously the solos. Obviously, they just call them, I think, solo or they call them solo something else. I think they're called solos. No, that's a separate thing. Solo, I think, challenges now or something like that. When they used to just be called plain solos. But hey, it's whatever. You can change the name if you want. It doesn't matter as long as we know what the heck it is. But one thing I wish they do fix is on Ultimate Team. If I'm being completely honest, there isn't really much I feel like they need to change. Like, I think most of the things they need to change was a lot of graphics, like a lot of, not just graphics in general. I care less about the graphics if I'm being completely honest. Just a lot of the flags and stuff like that they need to fix, and I think they pretty much fixed those. If not, at least a lot of the main ones they needed to. Ultimate Team, like, I don't feel like there's really much card-wise they need to fix. Maybe give us maybe another mode in Ultimate Team, maybe. Like, I know we have draft, we have solo battles, we have online squads. Oh, and they still haven't fixed this still, but one thing they do need to fix is the loading screen, and I've seen this a lot with like a lot of different modes that you play online with. You get on a loading screen where it stays on the same loading screen and just loads and loads and loads and never actually gets into the game. They need to fix that. They really do. But anyway, so I'm done with that. So
okay, so going into the last topic of the night, because this podcast is already a good little while long and it still needs edited and stuff like that. But going into the last topic of the night is the whole Trump banning TikTok off of all cellular devices, all devices in general.
It's pretty much just taking away the app in general.
Yeah, basically barring the app from electronics. And the reason of that is because since this whole COVID-19 outbreak and stuff in the United States, since the United States has been a lot more worried about that than like other countries and stuff like that, supposedly China has gotten to hack into TikTok, one of the random apps to hack, I guess, and they're getting information about the United States and stuff like that, like illegal stuff with the United States, and they're getting random information off TikTok and stuff like that. A bunch of people saying it could get banned. I personally think it will. But if you think about it, a lot of people's actually made careers off TikTok. Like, they could have a YouTube channel and have like 15 subscribers and post one TikTok and get famous. Because it's been proven, it's a lot more generic that you're gonna find. Yeah, that you're gonna find someone, scroll upon someone's TikTok, than you're just gonna scroll upon someone's YouTube video. It's a lot more likely you're gonna find that person's TikTok, and if you like that guy's content, you're probably gonna follow him. And if you like most of his videos, you're probably gonna like them, and stuff like that. And a lot more people can be driven in by TikTok videos than more of YouTube videos, because the highest time limit of making a TikTok is 60 seconds, so a minute long. You can do like a short, not a lot period of time, but a short period of time of just sitting there scrolling through TikToks, then scrolling through 5, 20, 30-minute videos on YouTube. And you can sit here and watch like 100 videos on TikTok before you can watch like 2 on YouTube. Not saying that's depending on the length of the video, but that's all I gotta say about that, Kyler. Well, Swag, if you want to add anything to that, you can go for it. But.
Well, I don't really know a lot about it for the purposes, I kind of just started getting into TikTok and stuff like that. I've seen TikTok, but I do understand the whole purpose, because something I used to like a lot, and I know a lot of people that got big on it, was Vine. Vine was a big thing like TikTok was, and a lot of people made their careers off TikTok, or not TikTok, Vine. And when that shut down, they had to go to YouTube or some other, to get their fame and stuff. A lot of people, obviously, I think it was Instagram that really they kept going on, because they could do kind of like TikToks on Instagram and stuff. Not really like on YouTube, really. But I guess if it happens like TikTok, it might go the same direction as like Vine did with the people that got famous on there. They might go to Instagram or a different social media to get their. But the real question is, will they get the same kind of fans and stuff like that from TikTok as they would there? So, or until they make a new social media that can replace TikTok and stuff like that. That's really about if they do, we didn't know what was going to come after Vine and obviously TikTok. Well, Musically, and then TikTok, and then we'll see what happens then. But
well, Musically basically was TikTok, but it just got the name changed.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Yeah. Chances are, yeah. But is that all you guys say about that?
I think that's all I gotta say on that one.
Okay, so I think that's going to be about it for this podcast today. Obviously, if you want to look at our channels, our actual channels, you can go check them out. Key Glitchings is down there. My main channel and my second channel, is down there. I'm not going to do much promoting, but if you want to do promoting to your channel, you can. If you want to do any.
Nah.
Okay. But if you do want to see, besides the podcast, what else we do, you can go check out those channels. They're probably going to be down below in the description. But if you guys have, if you guys want to suggest any topics that you guys want us to, talk about or something, we're always open to that. There'll be days that we'll probably not think of any topics. But if you guys do have any that you might want us to talk about, or and one thing that we might end up doing that we were going to plan to do in this one, but we might do in future ones, is obviously alpha tryouts, where we'll bring people onto the podcast and tell them about themselves and what they would be for an alpha. And if any of you guys would want to be in that, obviously you can DM. Chances are I'm not really gonna know what you'd want to DM him on. But chances are, if you, for example, if you have a PlayStation, it's probably a lot easier. You can, I'll probably chances are put them somewhere on the screen or something, or gamer tags or social medias, whatever. Do you have a social media they want, or do you just want them to go off PlayStation or something?
If you guys ever want to, I usually say just add me on PlayStation in my videos, but if any of you guys want to ever think about joining Alpha, all I gotta do is hit me up on PlayStation, Alpha-Clickbait5, or you guys can add my Instagram. It's key_glitching54.
They'll obviously be on the screen to make you guys a lot easier there, because people do spell it wrong and stuff like that. So, obviously, if you want to know mine, obviously Swag Packers 2020. If you want to add me on PlayStation, or at least text me something about the tryouts or something like that, or you can text me on Insta, Kyler _Saint ST _Claire _2344. That's my Insta. But if you want to text me on there. But anyway, hopefully I can see you guys, if you like this kind of stuff, obviously subscribe, like the video, tell me down in the comments what you liked mostly about it and stuff like that. But it won't always be us on this podcast. We might bring some more alpha members, or more people to obviously join it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Peace.